All right, so tonight we have a special guest with us from the Techstars community. We have Ben Carcio, who's going to be sharing with us some of the recommendations and some of his experiences when it comes to how to launch a product and how to create our go-to-market strategy. Ben, it's great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. So please show us. Uh, well, tell us a bit of who you are. What's been your experience? I know that you've been involved in the Techstars community, and you're also right now working on your startup called Revim. Looking forward to help startups get into the U.S. market. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you very much, Kevin, for including me in this. It's an honor to be connected with you tonight, all the way from Boston. So from Boston to Honduras, it's a beautiful thing that we're able to do this. So happy to be here. Yeah, and apologies that I don't speak Spanish. I know un poco español, so I will save you any Spanish and use my English. So I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I mean, my founder story started in 2010. So that's at this point now almost 12 years ago. I was in an accelerator just like you are now, in an accelerator in Boston called Techstars Boston, and had an amazing experience and launched a company that called Promobox that grew to over 100 people, raised 10 million US dollars, and had a lot of fun. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we do this, right? So yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about what I call a customer partner program, which, if you look at the seminar, it's how to launch a product. And I do this for a bunch of Techstars classes, and want to also talk to you about the organization that I'm starting now, where we're co-headquartered in Boston and also in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So we have even though I'm not bilingual, my team is bilingual, and we're, continuing to get more involved in Latin America and helping just the amazing startups down in Latin America. So excited to be here. And, I really appreciate Kevin inviting me to speak to you.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. And no, based on what you said, I mean, I can bet it's been an amazing journey for you and
Yeah.
and your team as well. So no, we're excited to learn about your experiences.
Great. Yeah. In terms of format, I'll do a bit of a presentation. Feel free, if you're more comfortable putting your questions into chat, feel free to put them into chat. But I'm just going to walk you through, how we do the customer partner program in the US, how I do that, and hopefully it will be, at the end of the day, something that's helpful for you as you think about your product. I was taking a look at all your companies, and I noticed that a lot of your companies were already sort of doing their value proposition in English. So I'm assuming you're starting to think about how you enter a market like the United States and, in Canada and sort of the rest of the English speaking world. So hopefully I can be a friend helping you bridge that. So Kevin, I don't know if it makes sense for me to jump into the presentation and get going.
Sure,
And then
sure.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sounds good. Let me share my screen here. Let me just find my presentation. Somehow I lost it. Do you see my presentation, Kevin?
No, not yet.
Okay, 1 second. You'd think I'd be an expert at Zoom at this point, right? Like we all are. Hold on 1 second. Here it is. Oh, you know what it is? I think it's in full screen mode. 1 second.
Oh, okay. Yep, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Don't judge my tabs. I have a lot of tabs. I don't know if that's just an American thing, but I organize my life in tabs. So again, Ben Carcio, I'm a mentor at Techstars Boston. My former company Promobox was in the Techstars program. So that's my connection to Techstars. So the goal here is to provide a basic framework for how to create a US style customer partner program. And you're thinking, what is customer partner? that yeah, at the end of the day, you want to build sort of deep, meaningful connections with your early customers that provide proof points for your business. A lot of times when we think about customer, we think this is someone that I want to convince to pay me something for my service, for my product. But it's almost deeper than that, where you want to build this deep connection because you're all early in your businesses, and building these connections can be really company changing for you, where they can not only can they provide you with the money that you need to drive a business, but they can provide you with feedback and help you shape your business. So I think that's really important to think of it that way. I know when we think business, it's like, let's go, sell, sell, sell. But at the end of the day, you really want to build these deep connections, especially for early stage companies. So I always start, I don't know if this is a thing in Honduras, but we have almond butter. We love peanut butter in the United States, and we have almond butter. It's made out of almonds. And our first customer was this almond butter company. It was really small. So if you know, peanut butter is a huge business in the United States, and then almond butter is a lot smaller. And then Barney butter was like a very small customer. So our customer was this really early company. And when I was in Techstars, the feedback I got was, that's not good enough. That customer is not good enough. That's not enough validation. So my program director, like your Kevin, told me I need to go out and find a bigger company. So I sort of took that feedback and internalized it and went out and got a customer. And we got this customer, which I know maybe it's not big in Honduras, but it's the biggest, one of the biggest car companies in the world, Chevrolet. They spend about $2 billion a year in marketing, and our service was marketing. So how did we go from getting this very small almond butter company to getting one of the biggest companies in the world to consider our product? And that was because we acted like a partner. We acted innovative. We built a relationship with people that really needed us. And they didn't think of us as a big company. They thought of us as a startup, somebody innovative that they can work with. And that's really the underpinning of the customer partner approach, is that people at companies, and I can only speak for the United States, but people at these companies want to help and work with early stage companies. They want to feel your innovation. They work at big companies that are slow moving. So I'm going to walk you through sort of how to get a customer like Chevrolet, which at the time, if you had told me, if I was in your shoes and you told me that someday I would get this brand, I wouldn't believe you. So hopefully all of you are thinking, can I get that really big game-changing customer? And I'm here to tell you that you can. So a customer partner is really, at the end of the day, somebody that you would provide special access to your business in return for their assistance in helping you grow your company, right? So these big companies are trying to figure out how to innovate. They have pressure just like you do to build their businesses. They need to be innovative. They need to be open-minded, and you are that innovation for them. So I'm going to take you through just an example. I'm actually going to use my own company as this example. Kevin mentioned I started a new company called Revum. We, as a company, we provide outreach for early stage companies to get customers. And in order to do that, and as an example, what we're trying to do now is I'm looking for 3 companies to join us as launch partners. And I'm serious about this, by the way. As you guys evolve and as you think about your business, we can be happy to help you here. But I'm just, as a purpose of example, we are looking for companies to work with us. So as you can see right now, I'm trying to invite you in. I'm trying to pull you in. So a customer partner, it's not about selling, it's about pulling them in and inviting them to this amazing thing that you're developing. Like, all of you are building really innovative things. Think about it, that what you have is really special, and you want to pull people in to that by inviting them to participate in the innovation that you're developing. So what we provide in return is we provide early access to the innovations that we're developing, influence over the direction of our company. Because you're a partner, when you tell us and you give us feedback, we're going to take that in and we're going to make ourselves better. Exclusive discounts on services, and of course, cool swag. I don't know what the translation on swag is, Kevin, but like, jackets with logos on it and coffee mugs. And is there a Spanish term for swag? Like, what do you call it? Like branded
Yeah,
collateral?
I think it's like maybe merchandise, like mercancía, like
Yeah,
I,
exactly. So your company stuff, stickers. We have I don't have them right here, but we have coasters to put drinks on, like that kind of stuff. And it's really just to get people to laugh about it. But at the end of the day, you're providing these things that I'm sure all of you are thinking, well, we would do that anyways. And that's what customer partner is. It's really creating a program, entering a new market where you're bringing innovation and you're doing something that you would already do. You would already give someone a discount. We gave Chevrolet a discount. When Chevrolet told us to build feature functionality, we would do that because they were Chevrolet. All the things that we would do already, we turned into a program and we converted that into customers. So, at the end of the day, like it's an application, like apply, like, all right, are you interested? Let's go. As opposed to buy now. I think a lot of us think like buy now is what we want to do, but apply, getting people to apply to the program, just like you applied to the accelerator you're in, right? It creates scarcity and it creates urgency and people want to participate. And then, off friends at 5 p.m. So why, at the end of the day, like what is the customer partner giving? What do you need the customer partner to give you? They need to give you time to provide feedback. You need them to consider you as part of their company. So you're obviously not going to give it away for free. You're not going to not talk to them about it, but you want them to be open-minded and to think about if they would consider your platform. Because, and it's important, and this is very important to think about, a no is just as important as a yes in the early stages of your business. A lot of times what happens, and this happens in the United States every day, nobody wants to be mean, right? Nobody wants, like, Americans are really good at telling you why they like something. We're not good at telling you why we don't. And so it's critical, and maybe this is different in Honduras, but most times someone will be like, we're interested, but we're not interested yet. Or, keep us, let's stay in touch. These type of words, like, oh, this is really cool. Can we connect in a few weeks? But what they're not telling you is why they don't need it right now. So by creating a customer partner program, you're actually taking that wall down a little bit, and you're asking them to give you real meaningful feedback. And it's really important if they're like, here's why we're not ready for your product today. And they can explain that because that'll make your product better. So customer partner allows you to bring in people to consider your product as a partner, even if they're not going to become a customer, which sounds a little counterintuitive, but if you bear with me. Why does this work? Like, people are good. People are generally want to help. People do want to help. I want to help early stage companies. If you belong, to the Techstars family, which by extension this group is, people want to help people, right? Especially entrepreneurs. People want to help entrepreneurs because it's carrying out a dream that you've had. So people are good, and it's about identifying those people. Scarcity increases value, right? If you limit the amount of available opportunities you provide, the value goes up. So if you say, just like I did in the example earlier, I only have 5 opportunities to join customer partner, somebody thinks, oh my God, if I don't do this now, I'm going to lose this opportunity. And time creates urgency as well. So you want to stress, time in the process. Don't leave it open-ended. Like, by the end of these 3 months, we want 5 customer partners in the United States that fit our ideal customer profile to become our customers, become our customer partners. Again, it creates pressure, as opposed to just leaving it open-ended, where at the end of the day, you're not putting any positive pressure on the process. And then ultimately, to summarize everything, people are good. They generally want to help early stage companies because you are new, innovative, and nimble. If you bring the angle that you're coming from Honduras, that you're coming from Latin America, that can also help, because there's people that are interested in technologies outside of the country, and you could use that in your leverage. And at the end of the day, if you're working at a big company and you're sort of structured, you are everything they're not. So you're innovative, you've taken the leap to start your own company, you've taken that risk, they haven't. We had clients, GE Appliance, General Electric, as a customer, and they would come to visit our offices. They had these huge offices with huge manufacturing facilities and just beautiful offices, but they would want to come visit us, even though we had small offices, were kind of funky, dartboard, coffee on tap, all kinds of stuff. They wanted to come see a startup. And I think that's something that's really important. So a lot of times companies, when they're getting formed, they want to act bigger, or what we would say, cast a tall shadow. But at the end of the day, it's all about acting and being who you are, and that will attract the right people to your business. If you know the product life cycle, if you've studied anything, this is very common, where you have on the left side, you have the enthusiasts, the people that want technology. And then after that, you have to sort of sell the rest of the market. But I got to tell you, if big companies are built and sold, and they never go into this phase here, right? So early on, and you're all early, I'm assuming, so early on, it's about getting the people on the left and focusing on the people on the left, and not worrying yet about the bigger market, finding your early passionate adopters of your business and people that are going to want to work with you on that first. And then once you figure that out, then you can start to think about bridging into the larger market. Talked about scarcity. I give you a definition here. I don't know if it's relevant, but if things are in short supply, if they're scarce, value goes up. So don't make it seem like that you're this unlimited amount, that you only have a certain amount of people that you can take on as customers. I think that's important. And it's really hard to think that way, because you're probably thinking, okay, I want to add a customer, then I want to add 3, and then I want to add 12, and I want to grow. But don't worry about that yet. Get those early customers on board. Those early innovative companies are going to help you build your business. And then from there, you can think about how to take it to the next level. Time creates urgency. Urgency is a marketer's best friend. So time, this promotion ends. At the end of these 3 months, our customer partner program is over. So you got to do it now. You got to act now in order to participate. And again, a lot of this, and this is where my company can be helpful, or I'm happy to be helpful. A lot of it's in the wording and getting it right. And I would imagine, as you come into the US, which I assume some of you are thinking of doing, finding a mentor, finding a company to help you do that, to get that wording right, to get that urgency, I think it is important. So a couple things, the program process, I'm going to talk you through this. So here's where you might want to take some notes or watch the recording back, how you would build a customer partner program. And this is really, at the end of the day, it's a full marketing and sales program, sort of meshed together, specially designed for early stage companies. So step 1 is to create a campaign brief. It's a document where you just list everything that you're doing around the campaign, how you're going to do it, how you're going to execute on it. Clearly identify what we call ICP, which is ideal customer profile. There's a lot of people that would likely be interested in your products, but it's identifying that really small subset of people that we mentioned previously that fit into this enthusiast zone. Find that group, identify that group, and then simply build a landing page on your website with a very simple, basic application process to join your customer partner program. After that's all done, you want to create a multi-touch outreach program, right? Where you can send emails, post on LinkedIn, do any type of outreach that you have available to you. Even if it's direct mail, send a postcard, whatever it is. If you do the customer part right, and you do the promotion part right, like, I don't know anyone, when it comes to advertisement, people when an advertisement is specific, when a call to action, a marketing piece is targeted to you, it's not as annoying because it actually is like, well, I have that pain point. I'm interested. So if you do that right, and then you create the outreach, then opportunities will emerge. And I think what's critical here is you really need to stick to that ideal customer profile. Like, who is that group you're going after? Other people will come in that maybe you didn't think about, but really stay focused on that. We call it a beachhead. There's a lot of different ways to explain it, but that early group of people, stay focused on that and fail fast, right? Part of the reason why we have an end date on a campaign is if it doesn't work, you can adjust, right? Either start over or adjust the campaign and get it right. So it's critical that you have that sort of time limit. And then the other thing is get them to formally agree to join your customer partner process. So it's not, they don't have to sign a legal agreement. They don't have to, sign a contract, but just get them to agree to become part of the program. And then from that, you've gotten them to agree to something, and then you're going to build them into a customer where they need to sign something more formal. But don't do that too quickly because it might scare them. And just to break you through some of this, ideal customer profile is the most likely company to fit your customer partner program. You have a lot of companies that might be interested. Who is the one that's most likely, that's easiest for you to target? So I would, even if you don't do customer partner, identifying your ideal customer profile is critical in your go-to-market. So here's an example. This is a company called Fresh. This is their campaign brief. This is actually a French company that we're helping come into the United States. And this is the campaign brief. I won't go into the details here, but it's just all the details around the campaign written down. A lot of times, and I'm sure some of you are developers, and you develop your platform and you write code and you spec it. For some reason in the world of marketing and sales, we don't do that. We just kind of go at it sort of happenstance. It's important that you sort of document and get some structure to your outreach. It'll make you better, sort of thinking it through early on. So this is an example of a campaign brief. Here's an example of a landing page. So they're targeting companies that are coming back to office in Manhattan in New York City, and they're asking them to apply to become part of their customer partner program. They're looking for 10 innovative companies who are open to new ways of providing food to their employees. So you can see here, it's like a lot of it influence over the direction of our company, exclusive discounts, and of course, great fresh swag. And what's really cool is there's a big, this is a small company. There's a big exercise company in the United States called Equinox, and Equinox is applied to the program. And we asked them to explain why they would be a good fit. And they wrote this as part of the application. They wrote their explanation as to why they think they would be a great customer. And mind you, Equinox is a multi-billion-dollar company, and Fresh is a company of 5 people. But because of the approach that we took, we got Equinox to apply to the customer partner program, to want to feel like they're a part of it. So here's an example of a result of that. Also, another example of a company that we're working with, they're doing contactless kayak rental. And, again, looking for 10 innovative partners. And we in the first week, we created dozens of opportunities from this, just taking the approach of you need us more than we need you, and pulling those customers in. And you can see, using tools like social media and just seeing all the positive comments and people raising their hand and wanting to participate in it and saying that they're interested and they want to join the program. And just as an example, how it worked out is that we created, out of the 15,000 people that we reached out to, we had about 10% of them open the email, about 230 of them engaged in the content, and we generated about 33 opportunities from that. And, dozens of those have become customers all through this outreach program that we did. So that's really the end of it, end of the conversation. Would love to open the floor up to, some questions.